Hello everyone, my name is Robbie. Welcome to IELTS Coach Pro. We have another Method Mondays video for you, and today we're looking at matching information in IELTS reading. And this question type can be really tricky. It trips a lot of people up, but we have a simple method for you that will help you find the correct answers quickly so you can raise your band score and lower your stress. So you might see matching information on test day. And if you do, it'll probably look something like this. So you will have, sorry about that, you will have questions like this. And the questions are actually statements for these, similar to true, false, not given. And then you will have a reading passage with lots and lots of paragraphs. So we have two of them for you in this example, an actual IELTS reading passage with matching information questions would have a lot more paragraphs, probably triple or quadruple the amount of reading that we have here. But this short example will allow us to illustrate the method clearly and simply. And then after this video, if you want to go to our website at www.ieltscoachpro.com, we will look at the full reading passage for this one and analyze all the questions and take you through step by step with some guided practice. But let's jump into the method, okay? The method for this is a little bit different than other reading question types. Because these are really tricky and difficult, they don't give them to you in order. So most IELTS questions, they'll be in the same order as you'll find the answers in the passage. But these will not be like that. You won't find them in order. So the method for this one is a little bit unique. You're going to read the instructions as always. So the instructions are pretty simple here. Which paragraph contains the following information? Write letters A through H. So for each box on your answer sheet, you're going to have a box for number 1, a box for number 2. And in each of those boxes, you're going to either write the letter A or B or C, etc. One thing with these is they might use the same paragraph as an answer for more than one question. So you might have A as the answer to number 1 and A as the answer to number 5. That's possible, but you're not going to have more than one letter for any question. So box number 1, it's only going to have one letter in it. You're not going to write A, B, G, or something like that. So it's a little confusing, but if you follow our method, it'll make it pretty simple, I think. After you read the instructions, the next thing that you want to do is read all of the statements. So this is where it's different than normal IELTS reading questions, like multiple choice. Normally we read the first question, and then we go find that answer to that question in the passage, and then we read the next question and find the next answer. The reason we don't do that here is because we won't find these answers in order. And so if we try to answer each question one at a time, we're going to be scanning the passage from top to bottom over and over again, and we're going to be wasting a lot of time and energy. So for these, we actually want to read all of the statements here before looking at the passage. So we'd read number 1, the types of people who need to read more quickly, and then number 2, the fastest reading speeds, and we'd also read 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then after we do that, we read the first paragraph. So we have all those statements in our mind, and then we read the first paragraph. And as we read each line of the paragraph, we want to be thinking about, does this paragraph contain any of those statements that I just read? Number 1 statement or number 2 statement. If we find one of them, like, for example, say we found statement number 1 somewhere in this first paragraph, paragraph A, then we would write A in the number 1 box on our answer sheet. But we want to continue reading that paragraph to the end because A might be the answer for more than one of these questions or more than one of these statements. So pretend a little bit farther down, we find the answer to number 6. Then we would also write A in the box for number 6 on our answer sheet. After we finish the first paragraph, maybe we found one answer or two or maybe 0. That happens sometimes. Then we move to paragraph B and we do the same thing. We read the paragraph line by line, and if we find one of the statements, like number 2 statement or number 3 statement, then we would write the letter B in the box for number 2 and 3 if we found those. So let's take a minute and practice this. So I'm going to erase all of my ink here. Okay. Now I want you to follow this method, read the statements 1 through 6, and then read paragraph A from top to bottom. See if you can find any of those bits of information 1 through 6, okay? You might find 0, you might find 1, you might even find 2. So again, read all the statements, then read paragraph A. I'll give you about 2 minutes to do that. Okay, it's only been about 1 minute. I want to move on in case some people are already done. But if you need 2 minutes for this, that is a fine speed. So go ahead and pause the video and keep working if you need a little bit more time. But if you think you found the answers, that's great. The correct answers are that paragraph A contains statement number 2 and statement number 5. So if you were to write the letter A in box 2 on your answer sheet and on box 5, you would get some correct answers for these. One thing, because these come out of order, you need to always really make sure that you're writing the letter that you intend in the answer box that you intend. So if you found number 2 in paragraph A, make sure to write A in answer box number 2. It's really easy to get off by one and accidentally write A in box number 1, and then you get all confused. And so just be really careful as you're doing these. Also, after you finish this section, this is a good one to go back and check your work. It's also good to highlight in the passage where you found the answers, because that will make it easier for you to check your work at the end. You'll quickly be able to see, oh yeah, I found the answer there, and I put the correct letter in the correct answer box. But the reason that number 2 is found in paragraph A is because right here it says top competitors average between 1,000 and 2,000 words a minute. And so those are the fastest reading speeds from the top competitors. And then number 5 is also there. Definition of speed reading is these first 2 sentences here. Speed reading is not just about reading fast. It is also about how much information you can remember when you have finished reading. So they're kind of telling you what speed reading is, and that's why we would say that the definition of speed reading is found in paragraph A. So Maybe in the comments you can let us know how you did on those. One thing about these is, like I said, a real IELTS reading passage would be much longer than this. It would have a lot more paragraphs, and it's possible that you will get to the end and there will still be one or two questions that you didn't find. For some reason, it was in a paragraph, because they always will be there, but maybe you missed it the first time through. But this method is really helpful, because if you do it this way, by the time that you get to the end, you probably won't have more than one or two remaining. Maybe you found them all. That's great. Then you can just move on to the next section. But it's likely that you will have one or two that you need to go back and look for. But it will be really easy to go back to the beginning of the passage and start scanning for those one or two that you missed, because by now you'll be really familiar with the passage, and you should pretty quickly be able to find the one or two bits of information that you missed the first time around. One thing that's really important with these is you need to work on your speed, because unlike most IELTS question types, you're probably going to have to read every word of the passage as you do these. And so you need to really improve your reading speed. You also need to improve your speed of finding the answers and finding the keywords. Normally, on average, you only want to spend 90 seconds per IELTS reading question. But on these, because they're a little bit more challenging, you can spend up to 2 minutes and make up a little time on some of the easier questions. But you really don't want to spend more than 2 minutes per question, because you'll probably run out of time. So if you get this on test day and there's one or two that you just can't find at all, just write down a guess and move on, so you don't waste all your time looking for one or two questions, and then you might run out of time to answer 5 or 6 questions at the end of the test. So again, don't spend more than 2 minutes on these. But if you practice this method and you practice your reading speed and you practice your speed of finding keywords, I really think that you can get your speed down to 2 minutes on these, and you can find the correct answers and get a really high score. So that's the end of our Method Mondays video for today. I hope you found it helpful, but if you want to watch a video where we analyze this full reading passage and find the answer to all 6 of these questions, head on over to our website at www.ieltscoachpro.com. We also have one-on-one tutoring and group classes, a free mock test, and if you liked this video, please click the like button, share it so that your friends can see it, and also subscribe and follow so that you don't miss a video. Have a great day.